Welcome back to our live show here of Thursday. James is with us. John Sheridan, our special guest this evening. As I was explaining to John before the show, balancing things up with a blade, okay, versus an owl here, and also lowering the
He's giving me the dagger that can see it.
He is too. You see in his eyes.
I'll let you enjoy it at this moment in time.
Also lowering the average age in the studio.
Yeah.
We'll come see you for your roundup shortly, but Sheffield United have to be discussed. They demand to be discussed on this show because they're doing fantastically well, second in the table. Surprise you or not?
They have surprised me, but it doesn't surprise me obviously with the manager. I think his momentum from the last year or two, and I know Chris well, I get on really well, good mate with him, and I'm chuffed to bits for him. Even though I'm an ex-Sheffield Wednesday player, I always like teams in the Yorkshire area
to do well.
To do well, I do. And Chris is doing a brilliant job, and I've seen them play as well. They're playing with loads of confidence, and they look as though if they keep playing the way they are, they're going to be up there till the end of the season. Obviously, with January around the corner, if he can strengthen as well, just bring a bit more quality in. So be a massive plus for him. I think he's doing a brilliant job. As
a creator yourself and an architect, how impressed have you been with Mark Duffy, who has spent quite a bit of his career in League One and lower down? Not a lot of Championship before this, although he did well at Birmingham. Yeah. He's playing fantastically.
Yeah, I've always liked him as a player. Yeah. I think he's very intelligent, very comfortable on the ball. Not sure where his best position is, but he's at the top end of the pitch. He's always creating things, and he'll do something. I remember the goal he scored at Hillsborough when he's just come on as well, sub, and he's probably the only player who would have scored that goal. He's just got them little things a bit different in his game, and he's been a winger, but he's playing just in that hole. I think he was at Scunthorpe a few years ago, and I can remember him then. And no, he's just playing. He's like a lot of the players in the team at the moment, playing with a lot of confidence.
Well, the one that's playing perhaps with the most confidence and the most out of his skin and the most on fire is Leon Clark. Yeah. You know, sensational form at the age of 32. This maybe will surprise you less than some people because you managed him twice. Yeah. Once at Oldham on loan, and again at Chesterfield. But you know what he can do. Yeah.
It doesn't actually surprise me what he's doing. I think he should have done it a lot earlier in his career for me, for all the attributes he's got as a player. He done well for me in both occasions at Oldham. I think he scored 89 when he was at Chesterfield with me. So, no, he's got everything he wants in a striker. And I just think he's showing like I say, what he's showing at this moment in time. He's playing out of his skin at this moment in time. And for me, he should have been doing that 4 or 5 years ago. Why did people recognise him a lot more? But listen, Leon can only answer that question. Whether it's through injuries or, I don't know, he might be just playing under the right manager at the moment or in the right team. But again, he just looks like he's unstoppable at the moment. The goals he's scored, and all different types of goals as well. And just looks like a proper centre forward. His headers, he's running behind, his touch, everything about him at the moment is top draw. And it's a shame he is 32, because if he was doing it now, if he was 24, 25, there'd be a few. I'm sure there'd be a few. So he's a great lad. I've always got on really well with him. I like him as a lad, and I'm just pleased to see that he's doing well.
At the other end of the city, talking about valuations, Leon Clark cost Sheffield United 100 grand, 150,000. You've got £8 million striker in Jordan Rhodes, who's been really struggling for goals, but we know he can score them. Got a couple in 2 games. What do you make of the time he's had? Is there a way that Wednesday could play that's more beneficial to him and to themselves, or is he now going to click into the old groove?
I think he's got to be playing first and foremost. I think he's in and out of the team, isn't he, at the moment?
Has been, yeah.
But I think he's all about being in the box, the 18-yard box, Jordan. I don't think, you mind me saying, I don't think he's the quickest player, but if he gets chances in the 18-yard box, there's probably there's no one better in the division. But I think he's just got to get a run in the team now. And if he can get a run regular in the team, I'm sure he'll get more goals. I think, like you just said there, he scored in the last couple of games. But he's a bit of a Gary Lineker fox in the box, and he's a bit different to Leon, where Leon does a bit more outside the box. But no, if you give him opportunities, he'll definitely score goals, and I hope he starts doing it.
Maybe up to Wednesday to create more of the opportunities of the kind that he got at Aston Villa. Yeah, played him in lovely football.
Is that what it is? Just the midfield, trying to sort of get the best out of him, trying to work out what kind of service he needs. Is that what it is? Because it looks like he's not been scoring, but yet he's not really been having the chances, has it? It's not like he's been squandering chances.
That's been my impression.
He's got in front of goal.
I think football's changed a bit. You don't see loads and loads of crosses coming in, do you?
No.
Really now, football. Everything's in front of you, and it's quick passing, 1 or 2 touch. And I think if you're a striker, if you want balls coming in the box, I think you're gonna, you know, if that's what your strength is, you want a couple of wingers playing, don't you? And I don't know really. I just think he's. He just get a bit of belief. I think he's proved himself. He's had loads of moves. He's gone for lots of money throughout his career. I think everyone knows what his strengths is. I think he's one of them players. He needs to be in the team week in, week out. It's very unsettling when you're a player, if you're unsure if you're not going to start the game. Whereas Leon knows he's going to be the first one on the pitch. He's waiting to play, and he thinks I'm just going to score in every game now. Whereas Jordan just needs to get a bit of belief that he's going to be starting every game. Signs
of some of those crosses coming in from Adam Reach, not least, who's in a great vein of form, scoring goals as well.
Yeah.
On the left-hand side.
Yeah, they got players. He scored a great goal, obviously against Villa. No, they got players, but the game, sometimes I like a winger who's going to take people on. He's putting balls in the box, and sometimes you have to have that in your team. And
you used to play with one like that, didn't you? At one time.
Waddle?
Yeah.
He was all right. He didn't put many in the box. No, I just think, for strikers, and I know the game's changed, but a lot of people do play in front of you. They play and the game has changed, but I think if you're a striker, if I'm going back in our day, Brian Dean for Sheffield United, Mark Brighthurst, and them kinds of players need balls going in the box. And because that's what one of the strengths is scoring goals with a head and causing mayhem in and around the penalty box.
Okay, well, we'll come on to more about Sheffield Wednesday in a moment. James will go into his roundup after I've just asked you about Chesterfield, because obviously that's close to my heart. I really enjoyed your spell there with the Spireites, which actually began at Saltergate, didn't it? It was around the time of the move to the new stadium. Yeah. You achieved promotion, and you also won a trophy as well, JPT trophy. How do you look back on that time? And certainly, I think Chelsea fans now, we're looking back on that very fondly in the light of what's happening now.
Yeah, I love my time there. Like I say, it started off at Saltergate. I was very lucky that we moved into the new stadium the following year, which was magnificent for us. We just missed out on the playoffs the last year at Saltergate, and then brought a few players in for the new stadium, to get into the new stadium, and we just hit the ground running. We were on fire. We had striker, I think Craig Davis was up front, Jack Lester, Danny Whittaker got 15 from midfield. Jack was in probably 17, 18, Craig Davis 20. We were just very attack-minded, and most of the games we just went to try and score more goals than the oppositions, and a lot of occasions we did. And no, it was a brilliant season. And
game against Shrewsbury, 5-4 or 4-3 or something like that.
I think Crewe 5-all.
5-all Crewe, yeah.
5-5, yeah. Well, I think we were 3-0 down and 4-1 down, and we drew 5 each. Yeah, it was very entertaining. It was, as a manager, I was very pleased the way we played, and obviously to finish it off by winning the league was a great achievement from the players.
And you mentioned Jack Lester there, who was new to managing, not new to coaching or whatever, got a background at Nottingham Forest, but he was in under-23 manager. Were you surprised when he was given the Chesterfield job in the situation that they're in, or do you think it was a good fit, or what? Popular ex-player?
I think it's a difficult job for him for his first job, but I think the fans, he'll get the backing from the fans. He's a legend there. He's a great lad as well. I think he's got a tough mentality. He's not frightened to say how he feels, and I think he'll get across that to the players, which obviously they need at this moment in time. And I spoke to Jack a couple of weeks ago. I think it's just a case of just try and stay in the division first and foremost. And I think he's got that belief, if he can get a few players in the new year, just add a bit more quality to what they've got. I think it's just about staying up this season, and then I'm sure he'll work in the summer, bring his own players in, and I think he believes he'll have a good season next season. But I think he knows he's in for a tough ride, and I'm sure he will do with. Obviously, Tommy Wright's gone in there with him.
Yes, who you know well.
Yeah, Tommy will give him good experience, and I think with the pair of them there, I think they'll be okay. And hopefully to go on to better things and stay in division and go on next season.
Very much almost a case of hanging on until January, and then he gets his first opportunity to shape it a little bit in the market. Let's hope that all works out. We'll come back to various football topics shortly. Meantime, plenty else going on.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I mean, international break is nightmare time, but it's not too bad if you are a supporter of Wednesday or United, is it? Because you're coming off the back of a win. In Wednesday's case, 2 wins on the spin as well. Jordan Rhodes, consecutive goals in those 2 games to sort of come into this international break. Brilliant stuff. And Leon Clark as well, as we've already touched on, scoring 4 goals in the second half against Hull last weekend. First man since Keith Edwards to do that at the Lane as well. Non-league wise though, plenty going on. If you're wanting that football fix and you just can't be bothered to watch England on Friday night, Hallam FC unbeaten in 6 games, up to 8th in that league, 5 points behind the playoff spots. Real resurgence in recent weeks. Dronfield Town are the opponents on Saturday at Sandygate. Are you going to go?
I think so.
You're doing the rounds, aren't you? The minute you were at Sheffield FC on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
How was that?
Well, I've got a good record watching Sheffield and Hallam, but they got hammered 4-0. I'd say hammered 4-0. It could have been about 8.
Yeah.
Against a very good Frickley Athletic, and it was the keeper Ben Ledger that even just kept the score down.
Yeah.
So
Well, hopefully they fare a little bit better this weekend. They're at home as well. If you fancy going up to the Coach and Horses ground, watch a good standard of non-league football. They're playing against Newcastle Town on Saturday. Sheffield FC ladies, remarkable actually. We've obviously had last week off, so I didn't fill you in on this. They lost 4-0 to Durham in the league. 3 days later, they beat them 5-1 in the cup. Bizarrely, not sure how that happened because the lineups were pretty much the same as well. Incredible, yeah. And then they followed that up with a draw against Aston Villa last Sunday. Long trip to Brighton for them this Sunday. In rugby union, got 2 teams in National 2 North in this area. Sheffield Tigers, they're flying up to 5th, 4 unbeaten. They beat the league leaders Stourbridge at the weekend, 20 points to 14. Cracking game, apparently. Sheffield RUFC, though, unfortunately still second bottom. They couldn't quite sort of, come off the back of that win, that first win of the season that they had. They play against Huddersfield, though, at home this weekend. Sheffield Steelers in ice hockey, they haven't been having the best of times in the league. I'll leave that to Dave Sims' Sheffield Telegraph column if you want to read all about his thoughts on that. They're in action, though, at the Arena on Sunday in the Cup. They're unbeaten in the Cup, though, top of their little mini division in the Cup. Again, they're playing against Manchester Storm at the Arena on Sunday. And then, well, if you're a boxing fan, GB Boxing, it's actually been based, not sure if you know this actually, they've been based in Sheffield for the best part of 10 years now at the English Institute of Sport, hence why you sometimes see Anthony Joshua bopping about when he's preparing for a fight. Well, it's the GB Championships at the EIS, December the 7th, it's one for the diary. It's 10 men's weight categories and 5 women's categories. It's a stepping stone towards the Tokyo Olympics in 2020, so bob that one in the diary and get yourself down to the EIS.
Right, well, thanks very much indeed. Taking us right around the houses, lots of going on.
Plenty going on.
Ever. Thanks very much, James. Talking about going around the houses, have job, will travel. Some managers like to, well, some people, we all like home, don't we? And we like a job that's commutable, but you've managed Plymouth, Argyle and Newport County. You've been prepared to travel for the work when it's been there.
Yeah.
Not everybody is.
No, Plymouth. I've always liked Plymouth, though. I mean, obviously, we know how far the distance and what have you, but when I've played there, I've always liked playing there when I've played there on a few occasions. And I just felt it was a lovely area, and I just thought it was the potential for the crowd base. I just thought, I'll take a chance. Obviously, distance and what have you, I found it difficult at times, but I really enjoyed my time there. I went there, they were, again, bottom of the league, more or less, kept them up. The following year, we got in the playoffs, possibly should have gone up that season. And at that stage, I just felt it probably got to me too much with regarding the travelling.
Were you travelling backwards and forwards a lot?
Yeah, probably every fortnight.
Right.
It was a lovely place. It's a lovely area to live.
It's like managing abroad, I should think, really. I mean,
yeah. It was probably taking me 4.5, 5 hours, and that was.
You'd be better off managing in Italy or Spain or something. Yeah,
but like I say, I was enjoying it. I didn't find it a problem. It's just something I got used to. It was a really good club, and something I really enjoyed. But I think I had 2 years left on my contract. But I decided I wanted to get near home. But listen, football. A lot of football managers are out of work, and I'm not gonna. I can't. I'm not a good enough manager to pick and choose who I'm going to manage. I think when a job opportunity comes up and you fancy having a go at it.
There are itchy feet already now.
Yeah, possibly starting to get a bit itchy feet. Yeah. Unfortunately, I've got to wait for someone to lose a job for myself to have a chance of getting one. So.
Most recently managed Notts County and Oldham. Things we can't talk about at Notts County. Following that, we'll move on from there. But Oldham Athletic, we can. 4 times managed, I think 5 in all, including a spell as caretaker, which is pretty unusual. You did a good job as well, you know. You had some great times there. Yeah,
I've loved my time. Yeah. I've got a lot of fondness for Oldham. I played there in the later stages of my career. Probably played 150 games there when I possibly should have played none. I should have retired really with my knee injury, but I just loved it, and things just took on. It would give me an opportunity as well, a chance of my first managing coaching job. Did the youth team for a while there. I really enjoyed it, and luckily things moved on. Took my coaching badges, and I got the opportunity of taking the first team and my first manager's job, and I loved it. I felt as though I'd done a really good job there. Got in the playoffs, possibly again, should have gone up, finished in the top 7, 8, the 3 years I was there. And, but just things move around. I was left on good terms. The chairman had a really good relationship, and for some reason they keep ringing me up every January. And,
could happen again.
Yeah, so I don't know if it'll be happening this time. But no, when I've gone back there, I've done a good job to keep him in the Football League. And
looking at your win percentage across your career as manager of 5 clubs, including all those various spells at Oldham, and you've got 37.18% win percentage, which, considering these are all clubs that are not having unrelenting success with big budgets, I think you can be proud of that.
You've never had any money, have you, John? You know,
no, and that's one thing. You know, listen, if I class myself as a young manager, I probably don't anymore, but I think when you come out to management, you're chuffed to bits, you get the opportunity to be a manager in the first and foremost. But I feel as though for all my time in management, I'm always fighting a cause, and I think probably in 10 years, I'm not sure how long I've been manager, 10 years, I think 60,000 is probably the highest I've paid for a player.
Who was that?
I think Craig Davis, I think that was.
Right.
So I've always... Not that I go on about it too much, and I don't want to go on it, but, you know, never had the biggest budgets, and so, you know, I've always fought hard to try and achieve and do something.
You've never been one, though, to bash the chairman's door down, have you?
No,
to demand money. I remember Dave Allen saying to me that at Chesterfield, you know, he's a guy, he's the only manager I've known who's not beating me over the head for cash all the time.
And I don't think I've ever done that with a chairman. I just try and get on with it. I think I know the game. Obviously, League 1 and League 2, where I've managed them levels, I know what kind of players we need and what's available and what we can afford. And I try not to make too many excuses. So I just try and bring the best players we can get. And
difficult in those leagues though, because there's always the teams that come down who are wanting to obviously bounce straight back up. They get a load of money pumped into them. Particularly League 1. I mean, you get some teams that might have back-to-back relegations.
Yeah, it's very hard. I think that the biggest thing with League 1 and League 2 is the inconsistency of the players. I mean, there's some really good players down there. I mean, I mean, talking Notts County there. I mean, we were third in the league at Notts County, and then we lost 9 on the spin. Yeah. That was the reason I lost my job.
Or was it? But we'll leave that question hanging in the air.
Yeah, it was definitely the reason I lost my job, because of the results. But it's just you know. Whether that's my management or I don't know. That's you know, you've got to win football matches no matter where you are. Likewise with Oldham, you know, I've kept them up. 2 years on the spin when they near enough relegated. In this first 9 games, we've only won 1 game, and it's just the way football is. And you just got. I think every manager knows that the game's changed. You just got to face, and you know what the consequences are, and you just got to get on with it. And
but you can't plan long term though, can you? Anywhere you go
I don't.
Somewhere it's got to be short term.
I think so. Yeah. You very rarely you see managers now get possibly I don't know what the timescale is, but probably 2 years or whatever.
I don't even think it's 2, is it? Did you ever, you know, having been a top player yourself, you ever get frustrated at limitations of players lower down?
Yeah. I think a few players who played under me will tell you that as well. But I like to think one of my strengths is trying to get the best out of people and make them feel good. Like I said, Ron Atkinson was. But I think, yeah, the frustrating thing is when you've, luckily for me, I played with really good players as well and good teams. The frustration is, you know, you look at someone and thinking, what are you doing there? Why haven't you done this? And you're bringing it in, you know, you're looking at it as a player instead as a manager. And unfortunately, that's just nature. That's just something what you do.
Are there as many leaders? I mean, Carlton Palmer was in touch with me today and said, top player, top person, you know, top guy. He said to you, and you had this great partnership where you complemented each other. Are there as many characters now on the field? I look at Sheffield Wednesday, but they're not alone compared to the Wednesday of your day. Are there as many? No,
I don't think. I mean, that's a difficult thing with a manager. I think it's a manager's voice all the time. You know, when you come in years ago, lots of teams will have had him. The best teams have had him more than anyone. If you're not doing your job, it'd be another player picking you out. It wouldn't be the manager picking you out. And there'd be arguments non-stop in the changing room. The manager sometimes just sat back and let the players take care. And unfortunately, in today's game, I think them sort of people or them characters and them leaders, what you want, is I think they are fading away.
Is that part of the academy system being a bit softer, or just technical rather than maybe not the hard apprenticeship?
Well, academy football, I find it very difficult to watch. Academy football, I think they get into this state of everyone's doing the same thing in my eyes. And you do. They're not all the same. You do watch managers of not saying a word to young players. If I was a young player, I'd want the manager, whatever age I was, I'd want him to be giving me some advice and telling me at that moment in time what I'm doing right and wrong. I wouldn't want him to wait an hour after the game to tell me. I would like to be told while the game's going on. And I feel as though in academy football it's just it's too quiet, and I think they should be a bit more vocal in the right way. And I know because they're with young players, but I do think it is
wrapped in cotton wool a bit.
Yeah, a little bit. How much do you get in the ear of your son, who's a promising player? Jay is a fullback, isn't he?
He is,
at Oldham Athletic.
Yeah.
How old is he?
He's 17. Yeah.
He's 17, your son. Obviously, you have to be careful what you say because you don't want to give him, you know, a cross to bear in terms of what he's going to achieve in the game. How influential are you with him, and how much do you say to him?
I actually don't. I think I let him learn himself. He's a good lad. He's got a great attitude, but I'm just a parent. I don't look at him because I'm the manager or I've been an ex-player. Obviously, I try and give him the little, like any probably ex-player with his son. I just try and give him the little bits of advice. What you think would help him.
Well, you can't shout at these academy games, can you? You're not allowed to.
No, you're very quiet. No, but to be fair, I just watch and I'm quite quiet myself. But obviously, in the car on the way home. I'm sorry.
It's only referees.
Yeah. Well, referees. There's not enough ex-players refereeing anyway. That's
that is a part.
That's my.
What about you?
No, yeah. No, I think referees today. Listen, don't get me wrong. I know how hard that job is. I just like to see them have a little bit more. Go with the players and like have a little bit of feedback with each other. It's so serious, and I think the best referees and the best fourth officials who get a lot of stick, if they're having a bit of a laugh and a bit of crack with you, and you can see that straight away. I think you've just got a better understanding for 90 minutes.
Yeah, so say all of us. That's our time gone. Can you believe that?
Can
you believe that? It's all gone. So it remains for me to thank, as ever, James. He hadn't got his Christmas lights to switch on this week, so delighted for his presence. And John Sheridan, it's been an absolute pleasure to see you. Thank you so much for coming in.
Cheers.
Repeat at 11 o'clock if you missed. Well worth catching up with. And it's on my YouTube channel this evening. Back with another show next week, including some Wednesday personalities. We'll see you then. Thanks very much for watching.